If you want to have frame breaking quarters, you need to break the frame of how you plan your quarterly goals. And that is what this episode is all about. At Vendoroo, we've been on like a tear, right? And one of the reasons why we've been on a tear, I believe, is because of the way that we set quarterly goals, and we call it bets. We don't call setting goals, we call it setting, like what are our bets for Q1. So in this episode, I'm going to share what I shared with a bunch of people at Broker Owner that they really, really liked. And it's our structure for setting our goals and our bets, right? I'm going to talk to you kind of like what this goals versus bets is. I'm going to describe to you what my goals versus bets were last quarter, the results, and then talk you through kind of like how you would do it yourself. So come along. There's a little bit of storytelling in here, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a frame breaking framework for crushing your goals in Q2. I hope you enjoy this. Welcome to the Property Management Frame Breakers podcast. I'm your host, Pablo Gonzalez, and I am here to introduce you to the folks in the property management space that have broken the frame of what you may believe was possible. This podcast is presented by Vendoroo. It is your all-in-one AI solution for resolving your maintenance needs. Let's go. We are coming off a unbelievable kind of run here with Vendoroo, particularly these last 3 quarters. What one could say, we've had 3 frame-breaking quarters in a row. And one of the things that has really been working for us, which I think is something you can use in your business, is the structure of how we set goals. So I find that most businesses, when they set goals, they'll make the goal the thing, right? Like it's like, okay, well, we need to increase revenue by 20% this quarter, right? And they'll say, so that means we need to hit this KPI, this KPI, this KPI, this KPI, right? Like, what are the metrics? What are the, and maybe even better goal setters might just be like, well, what are the inputs, right? Like, what are the activities, right? That's the next thing. At Vendoroo, we have this structure that's called bets. We set quarterly bets. So instead of thinking in goals, we think in bets. And what that means is we all have goals, right? Like my last quarter, my goal was to permeate the NARPM market, to be perfectly honest, right? We've done really well outside of NARPM, but hasn't really turned on the faucet inside of the NARPM community and grow that as a revenue channel, right? So that was my goal. And in order to do that, instead of just setting what my KPIs and the things I need to hit, I had to say, what are the bets that I'm going to make to get to this goal? Right? So that's the context. I'll explain what that means. But the difference between goals and bets and the way that you think about bets over goals and KPIs is you just need to figure out you essentially want to detail out the activities that you feel comfortable with as ways that are going to get you to these goals. And, if you're betting, right, if you're in that betting mentality, you got to think, man, I gotta cover some losses, right? Like if I'm thinking about bets I need to place, I got to cover losses, right? So what it does is it creates this environment where you're just not like setting this target to hit, but you are figuring out how many activities you need to create so that if some of the bets don't hit, you still hit your goal, right? And really price out kind of like the risk reward and the likelihood of failure and things like that. And I find it to be a really good structure because it sets up a situation where like if all the bets hit, then you're way outperforming, right? So, you're like risk mitigating your plan within it. And that's basically what's been happening for us, right? Like, at least for me personally, my bets have all been hitting and therefore we're like really, really outperforming kind of like where we need to be financially or anyways. That being said, so I'll give you an example, right? And again, this is for you to think about. It's the end of Q1, you're going into Q2, right? Like maybe you can put this structure into how you're planning your Q2. So we'll take the goal, right? The goal was to permeate the NARPM market and start to gain customer shares there, right? So within that goal, I had 3 bets. My first bet was better ad product, right? Like more customer stories of like how this actually fits and real life customer of ours giving testimonial, because we have this like high performance marketing channel, which I'm sure I'm sure you see all of our ads everywhere, and you've seen people like Aaron and people like Jim on these commercials, right? So this is kind of like
showing that this isn't just like poppycock, but like that this is real. Knowing that we have NARPM broker owner coming up, how it was coming up at the end of the quarter, right? So like my whole idea of like how to permeate NARPM has to do with that as well, right? So my bet was better ads. My second bet was creating a strategic alliance with Vendoroo, Jay Barabee, and thought leaders in the AI space, right? This like AI alliance, building this narrative around how important it is to discuss AI and really evangelizing it into the market, right? So I asked Jay to like pull in like the kind of like leading AI companies in the space and be the curator. It was us, Super, Blanket, and C Inspector hosted that AI summit, right? SFHPM 2030. I'm sure many of you went because our list grew significantly after that. And, like we didn't just want to be out there evangelizing Vendoroo, right? Like the brand or the product or whatever. The belief is to show up to the market and educate the market on the problem and the opportunity of AI. So that was a second bet. And the third bet was this NARPM partnership that I've been working on for over a year. This idea that after my keynote last year at Broker Owner, I came to understand that NARPM was having a hard time kind of like marketing their designations, and they needed help with a program called Designation Elevation, and offering my marketing advice and our entire post production of like what my team can do in service of NARPM to help them create marketing materials for Designation Elevation. And the only ask was that, I am doing this, right? I've gone to chapters. I'm going to continue going to chapters. But in order to like really like do it at scale, we need like an extra room at Broker Owner so we can get a bunch of NARPM designees to come in and make a whole bunch of content, right? Which you're going to see in a month. And what happened is all three bets hit, right? All three bets hit. The content that we shot with our clients on via Facebook and Instagram and Meta platforms that really increased our conversion rates and really, I feel like, effectively very much educated the market. And then the partnership with the AI Alliance, I think the summit was really good, and it set up the stage for like a bigger conversation at NARPM, Broker Owner, and then the partnership with NARPM has also hit and become really successful, right? They went out to San Antonio, helped out Lacey Hendricks. I've got like Charleston on the map. I think Charlotte. I've got a couple of other chapters that I'm talking to that I'm going to go visit and help them shoot their Designation Elevation stuff. But by giving us the room, and by the way, when I do that, I get like 6 people. By giving us that room at Broker Owner, we were able to get like 18 folks, right? So it really did add scale to that operation. But it also gave us this like great space that we could use to evangelize as the AI Pavilion. Since we had the relationships with our AI Alliance members, it made a lot of sense to bring them in and have this like shared area to talk. And thanks to that, plus the content, plus the space, we were able to tell the story around AI being more of a hire now than a software, right? Like if it feels like a software, they're doing it right. It should feel like a hire, and it became a huge success, right? Like we definitely we are seeing many more NARPM members become clients after that show, and I more than exceeded my revenue and client goal in that space because all 3 bets hit, right? But I could have gotten there, right? Like I could have gotten there with the increased list from the AI Alliance event and the ads working, right? Or I could have gotten there with the ads working and Broker Owner, like being able to have a bigger space for us only or something like that. And what ended up happening is like the 3 of them working together, right? Like I'm sure if you're listening, probably many of you met Aaron or met Jim while you were there, and they told us that people were asking them, "Oh man, I saw you in these ads. Is it true?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's true. It's awesome." So that really helped at NARPM. Having the space there and the credibility thanks to the AI Alliance to be able to have an area that everybody wanted to go to talk AI, not just talk Vendoroo, right? Like that really helped increase the traffic flow. And of course, we would have had the room did we not have this like thing in place. And then everything else had to execute, right? Like we had to deliver on product and vision and all these different things. Those were other people's bets, right? Like they were making bets that we would show up there and be like the most native AI company, right? So that's the bet structure. And I think like you as a property manager, if you're thinking about it, right? Like what are your goals? What are your goals for next quarter? You know, maybe one of your goals for next quarter is to add 50 doors, right? So what's the bet what are the bets that you need to make to drive 50 doors, right? Like there isn't going to be a silver bullet. Are you going to bet on Facebook ads? You know, like that can't be like your goal and your only thing, but maybe you have a bet on Facebook ads. Maybe you have a bet on going to like the local RIA events and doing like just being more aggressive networking, or you know, setting a bet that you're going to go to like one real estate investor event a week kind of thing and see if that works. And then maybe there's another bet around, I don't know, starting a podcast or something like that, right? Like that would be an equivalent of like, hey, I'm going to increase this many doors. These are my bets, right? Like, and then you could be thinking, I can manage through the podcast. If I interview 12 people, maybe 3 of those become a client. If I start going to RIA, maybe I can get 20 there. And then Facebook ads might be able to bring me 50. And that's, you know, like my increase, right? But if all of them hit, dude, maybe I just doubled the size of my property management company, right? That's how the bets would hit for you. So I just think I was sharing this at Broker Owner with other PMs and they found value in it. So I figured I'd make this episode for you. But one more thing. One of my bets this quarter is I'm going to create a mastermind. Creating a mastermind that has property managers and a select number of coaches that want to level up their content game. I've had a lot of people coming to me asking me about my content strategies, how we repurpose, how to run a podcast, all the different things that worked for me before. Before I joined Vendoroo and now with Vendoroo, and AI processes around newsletter writing from it and stuff like that. So I wanna create this mastermind. I have a couple folks that are already committed to this, but I want a maximum of 25 people, and we're gonna talk about we're gonna keep each other accountable based on like our content goals. The strategies that I know that have worked for me and my clients in the space, some of the strategies that are working for the folks that are already in this, right? Like we have some real content creators in here already committed. We hosted this like content mastermind dinner at Broker Owners, and everybody's in. That's 10 people. It's gonna be awesome. So if you're interested in being part of that mastermind, or it's interested in being in my Q2 bet, hit me up, right? Pablo at Vendoroo.ai, or you can find me on LinkedIn, or I'm out there, right? So if you're listening to this, I'm sure you know how to find me. So I want you to be part of my Q2 bet is you are betting on content to help you out in one of your bets. I'm going to have an application process that I'm sure, haven't created the link yet, but my team will. So shoot me an email, Pablo at Vendoroo.ai, or connect with me on LinkedIn and let me know, and I'll shoot you the application for it. Maximum 25 slots. Until then, what are your Q2 bets? I want to hear it.